Welcome to the Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. For over 10 years, Dan has been helping AM 1160 listeners. With so many companies to choose from and hundreds of loan options, the mortgage process can be confusing and costly. Be sure to listen each day for Dan and learn the difference between FHA, VA, and conventional loans. You'll also learn how to negotiate lower interest rates and fees, as well as steps to buying your first home and whether refinancing makes sense. Stay tuned to find out why Chicago's top realtors are choosing Dan Frio.
Welcome to the Mortgage Update with Dan Frio, and I, of course, am Dan Frio. If you have any questions for me, give me a call. 833-DAN-FRIO, and it's DANFRIO. All right, welcome, Stevey G. Here's what I want to talk about in this segment.
Yeah.
I brought my son today. He's the CEO and founder of American Drum Supplies.
Yep.
And it's a new company.
Okay.
So you talk all these steps about life coaching, sales coaching, coaching realtors, coaching loan officers, coaching life, coaching couples. So what I want to do is, could you talk with Pat? It's a startup business. There's probably a lot of people out there listening that might be starting a business or even starting a new job or starting a new marriage or just had a child. There's a start to everything that we go through. No matter, I'm 54 years old. I started a new job 6 months ago. So it was a whole new, environment for me. So in his situation, he opened this company. He's doing good, but he needs to, he's wanting to take it to the next level. Step in, I guess, is the best way. That's the best way I can say it.
Everything's got. First, the question is, what's the plan? Everybody needs a plan. A lot of us just go into things and just say, well, I got this bureau thing and I'm going to do it. And you've done good. And that's what happens, right? We do good and then we drop off, right? Because it's only our momentum carrying. But you need a plan. Everybody needs a plan. You need a life plan. You need a business plan. And that's the first thing I start with is what's your plan? If that's where I come in, they go, I don't have a plan, right? Most of our realtors don't have a plan. Mortgage people, they don't have a plan. So even in business, you don't have a plan. But your life needs to be a plan. Your life needs to have some structure in it. So I ask, what's your plan? And the first thing I start with is, again, what are the goals? What are your personal goals? What do you want out of the business? And so there's questions. So one of the questions that I always ask any of my coaching, we start off every week with, what do you need from me this week to help you grow your business or help you grow yourself? What's the most important thing you need from me? One thing.
I think to answer that would be the overall experience. I guess we go to school, but, we don't initially break the ice on how to make that first cold call. There's a lot of things
Interesting.
It's just, I feel like the basic stuff that
That's why coaching comes in. So, right, Dan, 54, I'm 58, right, had, I can tell you, 20, 30 businesses. Most of them failed. 49%. Failed, 51 did good. And so that made a difference of millions of dollars. But it's what's in your drive. So you have to start out. What do you do every morning? What time do you get up? Master your mornings. Most of your money is made before 9 and after 5 in certain businesses. Does that mean you don't work throughout the day? No, it works. But what time are you getting up? One of the things in successes is, are you working out? And I'm jumping around here. But so there's a certain thing, the first thing we start out is your personal schedule. What are you doing? Can you work? Where do you work? Out of your house?
I do. Yeah.
Is that a good setting for you?
It is, but we also have an office about half a mile away, which it's convenient if needed.
So, and that's one of the things, like I can't work in my house, right? I'd be on watching TV. I would be drinking pop and milkshakes and taking the dogs out. I can't do that. So I have to come somewhere. You have to determine where you're best at, right? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So we'd set up you on a goals. We'd set up on goals. Vision boards we look at. Do you have a vision? Do you have stuff up of personal things that you want? Because the personal things, what you want, you're going to be driven in business to get them, right? Yeah. So if I want a nice car, or I want a new house or a new condo or something, I'm going to go get it in business. I'm going to get a little more aggressive, right? Does that make sense? So that's where I start. I start out with goals. I start out with a business plan, a schedule, a routine. What are you doing in the mornings? What are you doing throughout the days? So in my office, my schedule is on the board. My son yells at me too. He's 27. Why don't you have it on your phone? I can't. Right? So I put it on a board. But my schedule is done. It's filled in for the week before. So on Sunday, you should know what you're doing for Monday through Friday, right? And so that's where I would start on this, Dan. I would start out, basic stuff to get things going. And then we would move into making the cold call. Are you good with that? And if you're not good with that, they say this, you've got to feel pain, right? And then once you feel the pain, it gets a little easier, right? Oh, you practice, right? You said you practice in whatever sport you did, right? That's important. You have to practice in business. You didn't start out good whenever you did in sports, right? But the more practice you did, you got better. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Same thing in business. Make sense, Patrick?
Same thing in life.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you get the plan together. One of the topics we were going over is, we discussed worrying. Or don't worry about what others think. Another segment that we wanted to talk about is giving it your all. So yeah, let's keep on this format. And again, Patrick he's my son. We have him in this format, but the goal of the segment is life coaching. So you get something out of this. If you're in sales, if it's a family matter, if you own your own business, anything in your life, you have to sell, some way, somehow, meaning, you want to go see a particular movie and your wife wants to see a different one. You got to sell her on the fact that you want to go see the one you want to see. So in every piece of this puzzle is some sales of some sort. So when you say, don't worry about what others think, we kind of just nick that a little bit. That's kind of, you just got to get over that part of it. The next thing is, are you giving it your all? I hear this a lot, especially in the circles that I run, even in our office. Everybody always says, yeah, I just don't have time for that. Well, you just watched, Game of Thrones marathon over the weekend, and you spent 10 hours watching that marathon, but then you come to the office on Monday and say, I just don't have the time to do that. That drives me nuts. So when you say give your all, what kind of define that?
Let me explain. So let's talk about you in particular, Dan. You're a guy, and not because this is your show, but I can truly tell you guys out there that you give your all. So when you're in the morning, you're popped up, you're pumped up, we're talking, we're brainstorming in the morning. And then when I walk over there by you into your office, you're focused on your business. And to me, you're giving your all. And then you're going home and working till 9 o'clock doing your podcast. That's somebody giving it all. Does that make sense? So How do you translate that? Where does that come from? Here, at church last week, and he talked about it comes from within. Mm-hmm. It's within us. You got it within you. I'm driven. It's within me. That's where it comes from. Am I making sense with you on that? So you know what you do. You're like all over the place. Blah, 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 blah. Right. You're always working. Is it our time? Did we grow up in that era? So I'm still trying to figure it out. It's up to you on what your drive is, Patrick. So when we talk about your son and how that works and giving your all, you can say I'm immersed, I'm committed, I'm dedicated. But what is your all? Are you listening to motivational videos? Are you tapping into things that are going to make you stronger in that area? Every morning, I'm listening to motivational. Yeah, I'm on YouTube.
You really do.
Honestly,
every time I walk in his office at 8:30, between 8:30 and 9, every morning I'm popping in, and you got it going.
Because you know what that does? It stops. It makes me not worry what other people think of me. Because I'm getting filled, right? So I'm getting filled on Sunday with the word, and then every day I'm listening to some motivational thing, and sometimes on Wednesday, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So in your coaching, do you probably get a lot of the excuses drive me nuts? And I get a lot of that. I don't have the time for this, and I didn't do that. Oh, I forgot that. I didn't know. I couldn't do that, or what? That drives me absolutely bonkers.
So in coaching, I have a lot of people. So there's two realtor women that I coach. Took about 7 months. So we met once a week for 7 months, and finally we had to find out what was the bother. And there was crying. She'd cry and break down, and we peeled the onion back. But guess what happened in January? Once we solved all the problems, we found out what really was the thing holding her back. She's got 4 or 5 deals. So it took 7 months. So coaching is like anything else. Here's why. You know why, Dan? Because accountability. So if Patrick comes in and says, Steve, I need you to help me, I'm going to say, Patrick, I'm going to hold you accountable. Are you okay with that? right? So I'm going to ask Patrick, what'd you do this week? Now he can't run, Dan. He's got to do what he said, I'm going to do this, right? All I'm doing is making sure. So that's why coaching is so powerful, right? So when you play football or baseball, you have this coach. He teaches you the basics, but then what does he do, Dan? It's all about motivation. I'm here. I'm building you up. You can do this. Same thing with what we do, right? So when you're not worrying about people, you have a plan, you are focused, you're immersed, but that comes in giving your all. So everything I talk about on this list that we're going to talk about in the next couple of weeks leads into something through coaching. Am I making sense?
Absolutely.
So where does the drive come in? You got to look at it, Dan. You could talk about that because you have the drive. So it's interesting. You already have it in you. That's why I admire you, and I'm sitting here with you today. I love coaching you. Because also, you know what? You got to be teachable and trainable.
Yeah.
I'm 58 years old. I still take advice. I'm listening to you too. I'm learning 2 things new on coaching every week to help other people.
Tiger Woods has a coach.
Yeah.
He's the best golfer in the world. Yep. And he can still, cut a stroke here and there by getting coached.
Yep.
So thanks, Steve.
Good. Yeah. Thank you, Dan.
Awesome information again this week. I hope everybody gets what we're trying to do. We have to focus on a particular area, and this week was kind of Patrick, and he's going to be in on our next segment because he just opened a company that I want to help him promote. But it's relevant to everybody out there listening in one way of your life or another. So thanks again, Steve. If you have any questions for us, or you even want to get in contact with Steve, you're a realtor, you're a mortgage person, and you want to get coached, you want us to help you get to the next level, give us a call. 833-DAN-FRIO, DANFRIO. Don't go away. We'll be back in a couple minutes with Pat Frio of AD Supplies. God bless. Don't go away.